What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This video was WWE Evolution 2025 any good? This was suggested by Jacoby, so thank you, man. If you guys have any other suggestions, please put them in the comment section below or on my post on my channel, and yeah, let's get into it.
The answer is yes, one of the best WWE shows of the year. Evolution 2025 was a spectacular wrestling show. I feel like even if you didn't watch wrestling for years, you were probably enjoying the show because every match was great, every result was great. And here's what's crazy, people. Most of the time in the WWE, we have 5-4 matches, which is not a lot, but I got used to it. I felt like, well, if we get more matches, it's gonna get boring. Not with this show. It had 7 matches, but it absolutely flew by and didn't overstay its welcome. It gave me takeover vibes. I feel like for the most part, it wasn't overbooked. We got exactly what we needed. And I feel like it was kind of refreshing after so many end game moments in the WWE. Now, Naomi winning not the WWE title but the World Championship is such a great twist. Everybody thought she's gonna cash in on Tiffany. She ended up cashing in on Iyo Sky, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. I mean, Liv Morgan is injured, so they need heels. I don't know, feels kind of refreshing. I feel like we got most out of Naomi on SmackDown, so I honestly feel like that was a great idea. Now, as you know, Evolution is all about women's wrestling. Now, people, my beautiful people, don't take it the wrong way. That is great. I absolutely enjoy the show. I'm glad we're getting these shows, and it should be a yearly thing, probably. But at the same time, I don't know how I feel about this idea of WWE still saying women's wrestling is great. Like, of course. I feel like they didn't really need to prove anything, yet they did again, you know. For the 159th time. People, wrestling is wrestling. I get the message, I get what people are talking about, but at this point hearing, wow, women's wrestling, it's yes. Yes, they proved that a decade ago. And people, I mean that in a good way. After the show,
We've watched a lot about women's wrestling, and
I wasn't like, wow, women's wrestling is good. I was like, of course women's wrestling is good, exactly. Because the roster is absolutely unbelievable. This is the best women's division we had in ever. Really? People, why don't we just talk about Evolution? The first match was the Women's Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat. Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Lyra. Again, I knew this is going to be a great match. I said this is going to be the best match of the night. Possibly was, but of course we got that main event, which, you know, one of the best matches I've seen this year. Very good. Becky versus Lyra was great both times, and this one probably was even better. Part of me wanted Bayley to win, actually, but obviously it wasn't her time. I feel like it's going to happen most likely at SummerSlam. So I really enjoyed this match, and the finish was so beautiful, and it's crazy how easy it is to botch something like that, but they absolutely nailed it. So Becky Lynch retains the Intercontinental Championship. When it comes to the story, I feel kind of 50-50. The promos are not really landing most of the time, but when that bell rings, people, when that bell rings, this is where they shine. And I feel like Becky retaining is not that bad of an idea. Honestly, I feel like the
I don't know, from what I've seen, no,
Continental Championship is in a pretty strong
they do their thing.
Position right now. It always takes time to build these championships, and I feel like the IC Championship sometimes feels more important than the world titles. I feel like it's great. Like, the IC Championship is still in these stages where we give them to people we need to establish, while the IC Championship right now is not necessarily used to make people, you know, over. The wrestlers actually made this championship feel important. That is a great formula. I feel like WWE should do the same with the United States Championship. The NXT Women's Championship match was also great. I'm gonna keep repeating this because I feel like most matches were really, really good. So obviously, JC Jane versus Jordan Grace, another really good match. I'm glad the NXT Championship was defended too. Makes the most sense. Now, Grace got betrayed and didn't win the...
In your guys' opinion, was this the better Evolution?
NXT Championship. You can tell she's gonna be a big deal on the main roster. It's pretty obvious. This was a perfect example of, I don't watch NXT, I have no idea what the story is, but the match was great. I was enjoying myself. Sometimes that's what it's all about, really. We got the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way. Obviously, Raquel and Roxanne, Kabuki Warriors, Alexa and Flair, Ruka and Zarya. So, another fast-paced match. This is awesome, chants. Surprisingly, we did not get the return of Paige. I felt like that was the whole point of the Kabuki Warriors. And again, nothing really to complain about. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez retained the championships. I like the moment of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss being really friendly, finally feeling like a legitimate tag team. And obviously the championships were retained because the story ain't over. We gotta wait for the Liv Morgan return, and then she's gonna be jealous, feel like she's being betrayed, and Raquel is going to have to make that decision. Do I choose Perez or do I choose Morgan? So sure, it would have been nice to see new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, but it makes sense when it comes to the story. Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus was pretty decent too, you know, all things considered. I mean, Trish Stratus is not an active WWE wrestler, and I honestly feel like the match was better than expected. Now, this is the match where I expected a cash-in. So when Tiffany won the match, obviously she retained. I feel like everybody knew that's gonna happen. We didn't get the cash-in. Instead, we got the Trish Stratus appreciation moment. Even then, I didn't actually think about the possibility of Naomi's cash-in. What honestly surprised me about this is that I felt like when Tiffany is going to win this match, we're going to get this moment of passing of a torch or something along those lines, but we didn't get any of that, which I thought was kinda interesting. Made me feel like the story ain't over, but I mean, should be, right? Then we got the no-hold-barred match with special guest referee Bianca Belair, which was Jade versus Naomi. So this is interesting. I really enjoyed this match. I feel like they absolutely nailed it. And it's all about that variety. You know, I'm glad we got one no disqualification match per show. And man, I really enjoyed.
What was your favorite match during this 2025 Evolution?
Enjoyed that finish, but Naomi actually lost. Pretty interesting swerve by the WWE. She lost the match right here. She lost against Jade, which kinda makes sense, I guess. But then came out of the show as a champion. I always felt like Naomi is going to win the WWE Championship from Tiffany Stratton, and then we're going to get these championship matches between Jade and Naomi. So it seems like the plans are changed. I feel like that was always the plan. So it's going to be interesting to see now Jade focusing on Tiffany, unless she moves to Monday Night Raw 2, which I don't really see happening. I feel like we need a draft desperately, and we need a bit of a switcheroony, man. I can't stand watching the same storylines over and over again, especially right.
You know, because I'm not an active WWE watcher, I don't watch WWE like that. Like, watching these videos kind of like keep me up with it in simple terms. Yeah, so like with this video, I'm understanding the story in the women's division.
Now, since WWE is having so many
but
ups
I don't know
and
how long ago Evolution was.
downs. You know, I feel like we need a bit of a change. So hopefully Jade versus Naomi is on a big pause right now. You know how I feel about Battle Royals. Poor man's Royal Rumble, not that interesting. There's lack of a surprise, and for the majority of it, you're just watching a bunch of people. It's hard to focus. So for a Battle Royal, this was alright. What's important right here is that the right women won, which was Stephanie Vaquer, who then cut a passionate promo about how English is not her first language, but wrestling is her first language. My first language is Lithuanian. Just pointing that out. So she earned a women's championship match at Clash in Paris. Kinda surprised me. Honestly believe Nikki Bella is going to win this match. I'm happy she didn't. Honestly, I would much rather see Nikki Bella fighting for the mid-card titles. You know, I feel like she does have that ability to put these championships over, especially the United States Championship right now. Her being in World Championship matches doesn't do much for me. And finally, we got one of the best matches I've seen this year, which is Rhea Ripley versus Iyo Sky. The story is Rhea Ripley was never able to beat Iyo Sky, but could she do that at Evolution? So the match was great, man. Literally peak wrestling, nothing to bitch and moan about. My dumbass didn't even think about Naomi. We already saw her in a match. She didn't cash in on Tiffany. I was like, this is going to be a match where Rhea Ripley is going to win the championship, finally beat Iyo Sky at Evolution, you know, women's premium live event. So that's gonna be the big deal of the match. I felt like that was pretty obvious. So Rhea Ripley wins the match, and then nerds on the internet complain about how she's Rhea Hogan. Wasn't necessarily what happened. So Naomi's music hits, crowd goes wild. This turns into a triple threat match, and she very quickly takes the championship. Naomi is your new world heavyweight champion. Shocking moment, changes the WWE. That's what I appreciate. If she won the WWE title, that would have been cool. obviously. That's the payoff we've been waiting for. But you know what I've also realized? The cash-in from Tiffany happened so recently. I feel like that would feel kinda repetitive in a way. 2 title changes in a row would have been because of a cash-in. So her cashing in for the world title is a bit refreshing, and also, like I've said, changes the whole women's division, changes the storylines. In a way, seems like something we should have seen from a mile away. And that was your WWE Evolution 2. Great show, I don't really have anything negative to say, not a lot of things to nitpick, just a great night of pro wrestling, people. Great night of pro wrestling. So thank you everybody for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Can't wait for Raw actually. Can't wait to see what Naomi is going to do in a big gauntlet match with a great graphic of Alamat being front and center. Winner faces Gunter. Really excited about Monday Night Raw. You know, maybe the feeling is gonna be back. I keep praying, people. I keep praying for WWE to bring back that feeling. Evolution kinda did that. So hopefully WWE learned something from this show. One thing I hope they did learn is that we can have a bit more matches. If booked correctly, more matches on a premium live event could actually work. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the great one. Peace, love, and hugs.
Yeah. So Evolution, well, 2025 Evolution wasn't bad. I think he pretty much summed up everything. Yeah, I enjoyed this video. I always like watching these wrestling type of videos. They're pretty entertaining. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next one. Peace out.